Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Selling Fort Collins podcast. I am here with David Johnson. He goes by DJ. DJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
DJ, I heard your name again and again and again when I moved to Fort Collins in 2006, and it was always related to golf. And I'd hear about this guy, this amazing golfer, and I'd see the paper, and it seemed like every year, I don't know if there's still a city golf championship played in Fort Collins, but there was at the time. And year after year, I would read, DJ wins again, David Johnson wins again. And I got to thinking, why does anybody else even show up? It just seemed like it was like clockwork. Every year when this would happen, you're in the paper as the champion of the City Golf League. And so tell us, how'd you get into golf? We're going to get into the real estate and the club lifestyle and all of these things throughout this conversation. But let's start with, how did you become such a great golfer?
My grandmother took me to Collindale when I was 10 years old. And I grew up on a farm about a mile and a half where Front Range Village is in Fort Collins. Jessup Farm, Rigdon Farm, Eudora Park was all of our family farm. And I thought of myself as pretty lucky. I had to be up at 6 a.m. to drive the tractor, to do what we had to do on the farm. But at 12 o'clock, the rest of the day was mine. And I'd get on my bike and I'd ride to Collindale Golf Course and I'd play until I couldn't see. So it's kind of funny how the world is nowadays. I thought it was incredible that I actually got half the day to myself, where some of my other friends that grew up on farms worked all day long on it.
And how old were you at this time?
I started at 10. So played golf throughout junior high and then high school. We won a state championship at Fort Collins High School. Played in college, was an All-American there.
Where'd you play in college?
Western Nebraska. Played basketball and golf. And then played professionally through the 90s. Was a golf professional at Cordillera, opened up Cordillera in Vail, Aspen Glen up in Aspen, and then down at Desert Mountain. And tried to play on tour for 3 years. And in 2000, got into real estate and been doing that for 24 years now.
So tried to play on tour. I mean, that means you're probably in some of the, the tournaments that were for the aspiring professionals, or were you actually playing professionally?
I played in Asia. I played in the Canadian tour, the Hooters tour. It was the Nike tour back then, which we've got the Corn Ferry here, which is the exact same tour, just under a different name. And recently played in a couple Champions Tour and was at the U.S. Senior Open this year.
I heard a rumor a long time ago that you played with Vijay Singh. Is that right?
I did not play with Vijay Singh.
Gotcha. What pros have you played with?
Mickelson, Lehman, John Daly. I played at the U.S. Senior Open this year. I played with Nota Begay, Brad Faxon, Steve Stricker, Jerry Kelly.
So a lot of these are just as prominent as that name. It's interesting that was the name I heard. But so you've played with. I mean, these are pros. I mean, you've played side by side with these guys.
Absolutely. I mean, they're known them. I've known most of them for, my gosh, almost 30 years now. So a lot of fun.
Wow. So grew up golfing. Sounds like you were a natural. When you started at a young age, you just were winning championships in high school, and then you kind of got into this. So golfing has been your thing. You've lived in Northern Colorado your entire life. How has the golf course scene evolved? You mentioned Collindale, the city course where you started playing. Kind of where did it go from there? Because we're going to get into all the different places you can play today.
Absolutely. Going way back, City Park 9 was the first golf course in Fort Collins.
It's an old town.
And then we had Collindale. Southridge started about 84, 85 in South Fort Collins there. Fort Collins Country Club was the first private course. It started in 1957. It was just 9 holes at the beginning, has gone into 18. It's a phenomenal golf course. U.S. Amateur Qualifier is there every year. Collindale actually holds the U.S. Open local qualifying regionally. And then also in the 80s, we had Ptarmigan that started up.
It started up way back in the 80s.
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
It was a late 80s. It was a Nicholas design golf course.
Okay.
And then early 2000s, we had Harmony that came along.
Okay. Pausing real quick for our listeners, Ptarmigan, it has a Fort Collins address.
Yes.
It kind of feels like Windsor because you're driving south on I-25, one exit south of the Harmony exit. You're getting off at the Windsor exit. I think it's 257. You're heading east, and you'll see Ptarmigan on your left, short distance from there. So it's kind of the southeast corner, as far southeast as you can get, and still have a Fort Collins address. I didn't realize that had been there since the 80s. We'll talk more about Ptarmigan in a little bit, but then in the early 2000s, you mentioned, DJ, the Harmony Club was designed.
Came along, and
who designed that?
With Jimming, who's when he built it, it actually won the Architect of the Year while he was building it. He's a Colorado State graduate. He's done a lot of courses around the country, and then we had Highland Meadows. That also started right around the same time, which is another public course kind of across the street from Ptarmigan. And then, of course, I'm at here, TPC Colorado, 2016. Just fabulous golf course. We can go over some of the accolades and stuff in a little bit. And then Rain Dance here in the last couple years.
Yeah, Rain Dance over in Weld County. The Highland Meadows course you mentioned, that's in Windsor. We'll put some links to these courses in the show notes so everybody can see. But where we are sitting right now, let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, we're at the TPC course at Heron Lakes.
Yep, TPC Colorado. We started hosting a Corn Ferry event. That's the tour that you jump to the PGA on. So last year we had 52 players that played on the PGA Tour last year that played in here. Matter of fact, one of my favorite stories is a young up-and-comer by the name of Will Zalatoris won our tournament in 2020. And he just edged out. It was a really great tournament. He birdied the last hole to win it over this other new yell up-and-comer by the name of Scotty Scheffler that year.
2020. Isn't that fascinating that just 4 years ago, this young up-and-comer that few people had heard of, Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler, who's won 8 events this year, a gold medal, about $65 million in earnings. But he was out here, and that's a lot of it. We had 11 players that played in our event last year that won PGA tournament events. So these guys are, I always say the top 20 are extremely special. But I'll tell you, we've probably got 2 or 3 of those playing in our event each year. And then everybody else on the tour and the top half of the Corn Ferry are pretty interchangeable. Just people that have been there longer or learning. We've got a little bit younger players just really cutting their teeth and trying to learn how to travel and play all over the year, all over the world. But it's incredible. And in our course here, we've been very lucky. We've won the Tournament of the Year 2 of the last 3 years.
And this is for the Corn Ferry.
And this is for the Corn Ferry. And that's voted on by the players. There's 10 different categories. The clubhouse, the tournament itself, the golf course, how they're treated, are people that come out and give their time to be out on the at the tournament and all. And the two years we've won it, we actually won all 10 categories from the players as they voted on it.
So the players love playing here. The public can come and watch, correct?
Absolutely.
They can come to Berthoud here and just enjoy watching future Scotty Schefflers and other pros.
Absolutely. And the best views in northern Colorado.
Well, absolutely. I think the players, as you mentioned, they love playing here. Certainly, obviously the public, the people who have memberships here love playing here as well. And what's not to love? You walk into this clubhouse and you see this. I've never seen anything like this in northern Colorado, but you walk into this amazing clubhouse. There's this huge kind of glass wall that has Long Peak framed perfectly in the background. So that's what you see. You feel like you're at the summit. I mean, you're just like,
absolutely,
you're right at Long's Peak when you walk into this clubhouse. And then the restaurant, this library where we're sitting now. I mean, all these amenities.
Yeah, restaurants named center stage for 4 reasons. When you do walk in, you see our center bar right there, and so our bartenders are on center stage. We've also got the mountains, so they're on center stage. We do have an exhibition kitchen for our chef, and that's open right there. So our chef's on center stage. And then we've also got one of our signature holes, number 16, which is ranked as one of the 3 best par 3s in all of TPC, that is literally 20 feet out the back door. You're teeing off on the 16th hole. So our golfers are also on center stage.
Yeah, these lakes are on center stage. I mean, these views. You mentioned the chefs are, where everybody can see them. They're working hard. I was walking in just after 8:00 in the morning, and they're firing up the pizza oven for the wood fire pizzas already.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're warming it up, and everything is just firing on all cylinders. So let's talk about the workout facilities too. I mean, there's fitness. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. A full fitness facility. We've also got a workout room where we do morning classes, Pilates, yoga, golf fitness, stretching, type of stuff, a different class each week. The fitness center is top of the line. It's a TPC designed, and TPC stands for Tournament Players Club. It is, we are privately owned, but the tour manages and runs it, and everybody on the PGA Tour is a member of these clubs. So we've got facilities that are set for professional athletes to work out if they so choose and show up here. We do have guys that show up just different times of the year, want to come out, get away. Maybe it's a week off from tour and come with their family, but to where they can still work and do their stuff. We do have 3 TrackMan simulators, each one about $100,000 simulators. So wintertime, we're able to hold winter leagues, golf leagues and everything, and downstairs full food and beverage service. So we're lively during the wintertime there. Our pool just closed 2 days ago for the season, but it's very much a resort style pool. We've got a grill down there.
Is it a saltwater pool?
It is not a saltwater pool, but we do have a 11-person swim up bar. Very much feel like you could be in Cabo or somewhere else on vacation.
It looks like that. It looks like a resort pool in Cabo.
Yes.
And we were talking a little bit before we started rolling. Pickleball might be in the future here.
Pickleball is definitely in the future. We are in the process of building a second restaurant. So we do have 3 lakes you can see. 2 of them we do own the surface rights to. So one of them will be just right below the clubhouse, is a non-motorized paddleboarding, kayaks type of stuff. The back side of it, it's actually kind of a 2-tiered lake. The back side of it is closed in the summer. We do have a 47-acre heron rookery. So summertime, the backside is open for the mating season of the blue herons.
Okay.
And then we've got a 600+ acre lake called Lone Tree that we've also got the rights. We've got a couple boat ramps in there. It's full water skiing, jet skiing, everything you can do on it. And then we are building another restaurant that we're just put in the foundation that will sit on Lone Tree, and also we'll have docks in there so you can be out water skiing, pull on up and get a burger or lunch or whatnot. And it also sits in between our ninth green and 10th tee. So it's kind of a halfway house for the golf course as well.
So resort living is what you have there. We're unique to Colorado. There is no other community in Colorado that has all these amenities, and maybe one of a couple dozen in the country. Lakes are so uncommon here that it's one of the things that we don't have. But having everything, it's really become worldwide. This year, I've sold homes to people from South Africa. I had a Dutch family that just came in and bought, German family that just closed last week. We sold to 9 Fortune 500 CEOs, CFOs, COOs. But one of the great things about here is we are very laid back. Our club motto is, if you live out here, you've done something well in your life. Now let's have fun. Yeah. How family friendly is it?
Very much so.
Hmm.
We've got about 35% of our homeowners have got families. A lot of empty nesters or soon to be empty nesters, just looking for kind of their second part of their life to begin as they're retiring or getting close to it. And throughout here we have got 21 clubs, everything from pickleball and tennis to skiing clubs, hiking clubs, to Bible study and card games and stuff. So it's its own little city inside northern Colorado.
I love it. And this episode is really going to be focused on the resort living options. So we'll get into a few of the other places as well. We aren't going to cover everything today. That would literally take a full day. There are a lot of options in northern Colorado. And this is a rare episode where we're going outside of Fort Collins and really looking at northern Colorado as a whole, because the resort living, the club lifestyle has become a thing. It's something people are seeking. And oftentimes they're seeking it for second homes. Is this a place where you are seeing the majority of owners purchasing a second home?
No, it's actually, I would say at least 90% of our homeowners, this is their primary residence. Now they may go down south for a couple months, but this is their primary residence.
They're here for the majority of the year.
Yes. And what we've really seen has been very interesting is a lot of these CEOs and owners of big companies, now that it's not being in the office every day, they do travel across the country. And what they figured out is we're 45 minutes from DIA from here, is they are only going 2.5 hours to go east, 2.5 hours to go west. And so they're central. And instead of it being a 2-day turnaround to get all the way to New York and all the way back home in California or vice versa, that they can go get up in the morning, take their flight, have their meetings, and be back home for dinner. And so such a great area for families or everything, lifestyle, safety, that they're able to leave, feel comfortable, and even be back home for dinner, having a meeting in New York or LA that day.
I drove around this morning early before coming in here and just going through the neighborhoods. It was fascinating to see, because I think there is a narrative in northern Colorado. There's so many second homeowners here. There's people walking their dogs. I mean, there is that community feel clearly.
Absolutely.
It's mostly, primary people living here at least a good portion of the year. Let's talk about cost. We're going to get into, people listening might want to compare. How much does it cost to get involved? One, is there a waiting list? And then two, let's talk about initiation fees and monthly dues for the options.
Absolutely. So we are, no waiting list. We right now are at 442 members. We are, spoiler alert, we are looking at a second golf course that we are, I would say, maybe about a 70% chance happening in the next couple years.
You heard it here first.
So yes, so we'll be there. We've also got a spot for a boutique hotel. Think St. Julian or Elizabeth, right next to the clubhouse here. So a couple more things coming on the near future. So we're a non-equity club. So it's a one-time initiation of $60,000. But if you do join or live in the neighborhood, we do drop it to $40,000. Our monthly dues are $795 a month, and that is the second lowest of any any TPC golf course around.
That covers access to everything.
That covers access to everything.
So you're not doing the thing here where you have this level, this level, this level. It's just $795 a month, and that gives you access to everything.
That gets you access to everything. Now, the great thing is, if you're not a golfer and you're living out here, just with living out here, you do get the pool, you get the workout facility, you get the restaurants, you get the lakes, you get the trails. That's just for living out here.
That's without the $40,000 initiation fee if you're a resident.
Exactly. The only things you don't get would be the golf simulators, the golf locker room, and the golf course. When all is said and done, 70% of our people living out here, if everybody that joined that could be members will not be members of the golf course. So, yes, we do have our golf aspect, but it doesn't define who we are. It's a big part of it. But if you're not a golfer, we've got a lot of other fun things to do.
One thing I've heard at a few of the other clubs is that I hear some gripes about, I can't get my tee time, or I got my tee time, but I got grouped with this person, and I kind of like to golf by myself, or,
Sure.
How is the capacity here for the course? I mean, you mentioned they might be building another course, but the 18 holes that are currently here, I mean, is it pretty, going to get your tee time that you want?
Absolutely. So it is, I'm not going to tell you on a Thursday afternoon, you can get a 10 o'clock tee time on Saturday. But we do open up tee times a month in advance, and we are not setting a limit on a number. We are going to control the amount of members by how you can get a tee time. And, at this point, if you're 8 or 10 days out and you want a tee time at 10 o'clock on a Saturday, you may not get the 10 o'clock, but you might get a 9:40 or a 10:20 or something like that. And we also have it to where before 9 o'clock, you must finish in under 4 hours. So early on, we have players that get out and play quickly, and it's great to get out. A lot of these people, you play at 7:30 and you're done at 10:45, 11 o'clock, and still have the whole day. So some of the younger families that can get back to family and soccer games, or just people that want to stay out of the heat of the middle of the summer and stuff, we've got that. And our afternoons are pretty easy to get tee times a lot of the days. So
explain this golf course to people who are listening, who are golfers. What's it like golfing this golf course? We'll talk about some of the other courses, and I would imagine each one has their challenges. Each one has, their pros, maybe their cons, things you like, things you don't like, things that are, really driving people to want to golf there. How would you describe playing this one? What's this course known for?
So we won the national award for playability, and it will sound goofy when I say this at first, but if you go all the way back where the pros play at, it's 8,000 yards, 79.91. So what's great is we can have a tour event here and challenges them. We have one of the tougher courses they play each year. Our winning scores are a little bit lower than some of these that are getting up to 25, 26, 27 under, which is crazy. And nowadays, how good these guys are. We always win the award for best condition golf course. But what's great about it is we do have 7 sets of tees. We can go and you can play this golf course at a little bit over 4,000 yards. The fairways are wide. So we can have beginners starting and playing out here. They're not losing a lot of golf balls, keeps our pace of play moving, always great conditioning, but you can go out, play as far back as you want and have all that you want, and bring somebody who's just starting and they enjoy it as well.
I love that. You've played all the courses in Northern Colorado.
Yes.
Many, many times.
Yes.
Let's go to the next one.
Absolutely.
Harmony Club. You've played Harmony Club, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Great golf course. Yeah. Great community.
Jim Eng, let's talk about the golf course first, then we'll get into the community. What's it like golfing Harmony Club? Jim Eng, I mean, that was the thing in early 2000s. I remember hearing Jim Eng has designed this course, and you see everything happening out there. It was a big deal. It still is a very big deal. What's it like golfing that one?
Great golf course. Very well conditioned. Great community. I love the homes and stuff out there. The golf course is a little bit more of, Jim Eng is known for kind of bowling golf courses. So fairways with mounds on each side. And so the golf course, may be a little bit more playable. You can miss shots and they'll bounce, back into the fairways. Actually had a fun fact for you. A high school kid in a high school tournament last week shot 59 out there.
At Harmony Club.
At Harmony Club.
Wow.
So it's a little bit more potentially friendly. But you do have some side hill lies and everything. Again, great location just east of I-25 on Harmony Road. Beautiful. Some water and stuff out there, and mounds, and again, the homes are great.
Right. I mean, the wow factor at the TPC course we're at now in Berthoud is it in its own class that I've seen in Northern Colorado. The other really impressive one though too, and it's not quite what this is to me, but is Harmony Club. You know, you walk in and everything is just first class. They've got the saltwater swimming pool, the hot tub, the workout center. They've got an amazing restaurant. They have a simulator. The locker rooms are first rate. Their customer service, and I think that's dialed in here as well, but the customer service at Harmony Club is impressive. They ask you, what do you drink when you show up? Absolutely. And that drink, that vodka soda, that whatever your drink might be, Modelo, absolutely, it's waiting for you in your golf cart. And you just have this customer experience that's special.
Certainly. They do a great job. Eric Knotts, who's in charge out there, Steve Lind, we call him Sevi, who started it out there and is still in the consultant of it, have been around forever. They're phenomenal at what they do, and they do a great job for their membership.
A few of the additional things there, they do have tennis. They do have pickleball there at Harmony Club now for you pickleball players out there. They have 4 courts, brand new, beautiful courts.
Yes.
They have a basketball hoop area, which I think is kind of cool, kid friendly, whether it's your kids, your grandkids.
Absolutely.
That's all right in that swimming pool area. So very pretty. That club is, it's in Timnath, just right on the other side of I-25 from, what people would call Southeast Fort Collins, where you have Front Range Village and all of these things. So you can really just take Harmony Road right into Fort Collins. So nice location there, close to the tech sector, all those tech jobs and everything. So.
And it's also Fort Collins School District as well. So that's a big factor as well.
Yeah, really, that's a great thing to point out. Fees, Harmony Club, DJ mentioned Eric Knotts is the guy to talk to about that. But, I do know for non-residents, there is a waiting list there currently. So it's not an option, but you can get on the waiting list, but you're looking at a $20,000 initiation fee. I have some of these things in my notes here. I'll look it up because there's a lot of nuance here. But yeah, you have the $20,000 initiation fee, and then there is a fee for the full golf membership of $750 per month. Payment plan options at Harmony Club too. With a down payment of $11,000, they can work with you on the remaining fee there. They're especially open to working with you, as are other clubs in this area, if you are under the age of 40. Everyone's really pushing to get younger people in. There are more details, more nuance here. Please reach out to me. I can provide all the details on this for anyone who is curious. But Harmony Club, another special club, amazing amenities, kind of this elevated luxury experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then I kind of go north to where I live, the Fort Collins Country Club. And
great golf course.
Yeah. What do you think about playing that one?
Love it. Was a member there for 18 years.
You lived up there.
I did. Lived northern Fort Collins. Fort Collins Country Club, very traditional, great golf course. Have U.S. Amateur qualifying there. Parkland style, traditional, lots of trees. You've also got Long Pond. Back nine is one of the prettiest nines in northern Colorado, and always in great shape, great greens. Great amenities with tennis. They've done some improvements over the years and stuff of Whitaker's restaurant and some of the other things. So it's a fabulous golf course.
Right. Classy place. Mature landscaping is one of the things that really jumps out at me there.
Yes.
Also just the family friendly environment. When I go to the pool with my wife and 2 kids, they're 6 and 7. There are 5 to 10 other families there with kids that are the same age. I mean, if you have kids, I think it's a tough atmosphere to beat if you're looking for a place where you're going to kind of go every weekend, and you don't need to make plans. Just show up.
Without a doubt.
Go to the pool, hang out. There's also a workout center there. There's also a golf simulator there. You mentioned Whitaker's. Yes. Similar to the customer experience of these other places, they know your name. Like you show up and you're a member at the club, they know your name. And there's something nice about just being able to not have to take out the credit card and go through the whole bank. It just all goes on your tab, and you get your monthly bill. And so, especially when you're with different families, the kids are running around. That's a really, really nice feature.
My kids grew up there.
Yep.
I've met a lot of friends that I'm still very close with there. Had a lot of us that grew up here that were all members there, and it's a fabulous club. Really good membership. Really good group of people.
Yeah, I think what it's lacking is you don't have the wow factor that you have at TPC and the wow factor that you have with the amazing common amenities. TPC at Harmony Club, it's those high ceilings, those amazing mountain views, the locker rooms that are just luxurious. That is not what the country club has at the moment, but it's incredibly well kept.
It is, and what, I'll give Fort Collins Country Club a lot of credit. I always say this in my real estate life is know what you are and be really good at it. They're not going to be a Castle Pines or a Cherry Hills. They know what they are, and they do it impeccably well, which is a great private club, great atmosphere, great little golf course. And when I say little, I don't mean little. It's a great golf course. The Colorado State holds their Ram Masters College event there in a couple weeks, and has Xander Schauffele played in it 5 years ago when he was playing for San Diego State. So great golf course, great membership. And it's again, member there for 18 years, and I loved it.
Know what you are and be really good at it. That's what they do. They are a golf and tennis club.
Yes.
And talk about the golf there a little bit. How is that course? Is it challenging? How does it compare to the others we've talked about today?
Golf course is very challenging. I know in a stretch for 10 years of the U.S. Amateur, that's 36 holes in one day. If you look across the country, a lot of the places you had to shoot 6, 7, 8 under over 36 holes. Fort Collins Country Club, if you shot 1 under in 7 out of an 8-year stretch, you played in the U.S. Amateur. That's unheard of. It's very challenging. It's a golf course that it's not unfair and not extremely hard, but with the trees and with very well kept, not unfair, but challenging greens. Every hole can be a hole that you can make a birdie on, and every hole you could struggle on by being just a little bit out of the fairway or in the wrong spot. And love that. I absolutely love that in golf.
Yeah, it feels very approachable, but it is challenging golfing it.
It is. Not
being a very good golfer myself, we're not in the same universe in terms of golfing ability.
Same with me in pickleball with you.
Yeah, I've got that on you. But not being a good golfer myself, it feels approachable. I will say, if when I'm golfing, and this is in my own head, but when I golf at Harmony Club, like, is somebody going to, come and politely ask me to leave? Like, that's what I wonder. I don't belong here. It's challenging for somebody who's not good at golf like myself that's not my place. But Fort Collins Country Club, I feel like it's very approachable. I'm not going to go out there and do very well, but it's a place where, like, that's okay. And I know that's okay, all these places, but it's very down to earth, very welcoming, and it's just it's a very comfortable place. I think that's something that stands out about it to me. And it's also known as a tennis club. The CSU women's tennis team, they practice there. It is, to the best of my knowledge, the only club in northern Colorado that has an indoor tennis facility. I think Highland Meadows has that bubble over in Windsor,
yes.
But it's just not the same.
It's not the same. No.
this is next level. CSU not only practices there, they play games there as well.
Absolutely.
And it's first class. They have clay courts there now.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's a new thing. They have clay courts outside.
Cool.
That was, whatever, hundreds of thousands of dollars new investment they made. So I think if you're a tennis player and you really want to play tennis year round, you want to be able to play on different surfaces.
It's number one. It's 1A, it's 1B. It's the place to be for tennis.
It's the place to be for tennis. And there is a pickleball offering there as well. If you're a pickleball player, the indoor courts, there are certain times throughout the winter that you can reserve those, and they're taped for pickleball. They have the portable nets, and there is one outdoor pickleball court there as well. So for you pickleball fans out there is pickleball. The Fort Collins Country Club goes to the tennis, but it really is a golf and tennis club.
Yes.
That's what they are. That's what they're trying to be good at. And, just another good location. Yeah, they do a great job. And it's like a 12-minute drive into Old Town from the Fort Collins Country Club.
Yes.
You can access it from the interstate pretty easily too by taking the Mountain Vista exit north of Mulberry. So nice
and bikeable.
I live right there on Cottonwood Point Drive on Long Pond,
yes.
and the country club's right in front of my house. We bike into Old Town all the time. Yeah, so it's bikeable. So, fees at the Fort Collins Country Club, I have those in here too. This is my notes just to give people some direction here. The full golf membership, which I was mentioning that across all these clubs is full membership. We say full membership. It's golf. It's all these amenities. It's everything. The initiation fee is $15,000, and then the monthly dues $665. You also have the sport membership option at the Fort Collins Country Club. The initiation fee for that is $6,000. The monthly dues $335. That gives you access to not the golf course, but the sport facilities, mainly the tennis. People that really want to play tennis. It also gives you access to the pool, Whitaker's, the restaurant, all those things. And then you have the social option of the Fort Collins Country Club. The initiation fee is only $1,500 for that. The monthly dues only $135 a month. And that's just access to the club's facilities and amenities, including the clubhouse, dining rooms, all the social events and activities, not the tennis, not those sports facilities. There's a workout room too. There's also worth mentioning adjacent to the workout facility, there's a fitness studio where they do fitness classes. They do boxing. My wife is really into boxing. They do Pilates. My wife is really into Pilates as well. People love that. There's a real following for those extra fitness services there.
They've got the reformers there.
Yeah.
Which are great as well.
Yeah, you got the reformers there, and you've got a really amazing Pilates instructor and actually a really just world-class boxing coach too for these boxing classes. So a lot of fitness options there. Again, those go with the sport membership. That social is more just, hey, you want to show up and hang out. You want to eat at Whitaker's. You want to have access to the clubhouse, the dining rooms, and these social events and activities. They're launching pumpkins into the air. You probably remember that back in the day over Halloween. The kids love that. They're just launching, and that's
great
fun.
Fireworks, probably the best fireworks show in northern Colorado.
I'm so glad you pointed that out. I think it is the best fireworks.
We do the same thing here, and it's so much that the town of Berthoud actually does their fireworks on July 3rd now, so everybody can come watch ours on the 4th, which we also open up to the public.
I love that.
So it's community.
It's community. You have all this space here. Why not
Absolutely.
have people out here for community to enjoy the fireworks? Yeah, the Fort Collins Country Club does an amazing job of the fireworks. They're also doing a good job now of they'll get comedy shows in. They'll have people come and play music. They have date nights where they have on-site daycare for the kids. So very family friendly. So I really want to shout out to the Fort Collins Country Club for the programming, the things they're doing. I think it is special. They got a comedian that my wife follows, and other people we know follow, and she was the comedian for a show 3-4 months ago at the Fort Collins Country Club, and it just packed out the place, and it was just really, really fun.
That's cool.
Really fun. So that's the Fort Collins Country Club. And then I think, we're not going to hit all of the clubs, but let's go back south.
Yes.
Let's talk. We touched on Ptarmigan a little bit. I didn't realize it'd been around since the 80s.
The late 80s.
Yeah, since the late 80s. So, what's it like, just starting with the golf, and we'll get into some of the other offerings there, but what's it like to golf at Ptarmigan?
Ptarmigan, again, a really good golf club. Jack Nicklaus Golf Course. It is through the houses, so little bit different along those lines as compared to Harmony's a little bit through the houses. We've got some houses out here. Fort Collins Country Club has some houses. That whole golf course is through the neighborhood. Good golf course, great greens. Some of the best greens in northern Colorado, and really good. Great club. I mean,
Yep.
a lot of the people around there, they are very close, and all these clubs have really good men's and women's groups, and men's days and ladies' days and stuff, and Ptarmigan does a really good job with that as well.
Yeah, it seems like they do. It seems like the men's league is just always a happening scene there. A lot of guys I know in the professional community, whether that's Wednesday or Thursday night, maybe it changes. Maybe they have 2 of them now, but they really pack it out for that.
They do. A lot of the people that have been there for a long time, and that's a big part of it.
So if you're a social golfer, if you like that men's league, that's let's just go right, and we'll skip around a little bit here, but the affordability of it too. I mean, it's the affordable option of all these categories. Now, it definitely doesn't have, to me, the wow, anything near the wow factor of the first couple, clubs we mentioned. It doesn't have the wow factor to me of the Fort Collins Country Club either. But it's a nice club. It's just been there a while. You don't have that workout facility though. You don't have, some of those.
A little bit smaller.
Yeah, pool's a little bit smaller.
It is, a couple tennis courts. It's more of a golf centric country club.
Yeah, golf centric. If you're a social golfer, especially, yep.
Golf and social centric.
Yeah, social when you show up to the restaurant and eat too. It's just it's a social golf club. Initiation fee $10,000 there, so a little bit less than the other places. The ongoing dues $575. Like these other places, they are willing to work with young professionals.
Absolutely.
Particularly at Ptarmigan, if you're under the age of 35, they're really trying to get you in. You can pay a small portion of that initiation fee up front, a little bit ongoing. They work out 0 interest payment plans.
Yes.
The Fort Collins Country Club does this as well. The Harmony Club has a payment plan as well. And the Fort Collins Country Club, with their full golf membership covering everything, the full experience, that $15,000 initiation fee, if you put $5,000 down, they'll let you just pay a little bit interest free, kind of going forward up until the age of 40. So, and then they have different monthly dues for people that are younger too. So again, a lot of nuance there. Reach out to me for details. We've talked, about, I want to swing back around, pulling in the young people.
Yes.
Is that anything that they're trying to do at TPC and Berthoud? Is there any different deal for younger people here? Is it all the same across the board?
We did have young membership.
Mm-hmm.
But we just didn't have a lot doing that.
The price point here for houses is higher.
Price point's a little bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've got townhomes starting at about $600,000. Mm-hmm. We've got what we call our villas, which are Toll Brothers. There are version of patio homes.
Yeah.
They range from the upper 8s to about 1.3 or 4. And then our customs start at 1.7 and go up to about 10 million.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 10 million.
Yes.
So these are all the places, we TPC and Berthoud, here we are. I'm looking out. I mean, by the way, I wish people could be here and just look at the Long Peak through this in the lakes. It's unrivaled.
And I still, almost on a daily basis, I find myself taking a picture of the same view I see every day that's different because of clouds, or the mountains are lit up differently, or sunsets, or it's incredible. Yeah,
it really is. And this is resort living at its finest. Harmony Club resort living, the Fort Collins Country Club resort living. Ptarmigan is not the same level as those, but it's still, you have that club. If you're in the Ptarmigan neighborhood, you have all these things we mentioned, this amazing golf social community, the pool, the tennis courts. Ptarmigan also, I failed to mention, recently constructed 4 brand new pickleball courts.
Great.
And they are phenomenal. I've played there multiple times, to kind of accompany their tennis there. They do have an outdoor tennis court. Now, it doesn't seem like a real big tennis following there. It seems like it's becoming more and more of a pickleball forward club than the tennis side. But the pickleball courts are just first rate. They're phenomenal there. So that's another place where you can, get a level of resort living. Let's talk quick while we have you too, since I'm talking to a pro golfer here. What's it like golfing the other 2 courses, that aren't public in Fort Collins? But let's talk about Rain Dance, and then from there we'll talk about Highland Meadows. What's it like golfing those? What's the challenge level?
Rain Dance, longest golf course in America, I believe, right now.
So everybody knows it's over in Weld County.
Yes, just over in Windsor, 8,400 yards, I believe it is. Very long, challenging, up and down. It's more of the vistas towards the north and east than the mountain views and everything in there. Also very unique clubhouse and everything. They've got a ski hill in the wintertime. They also Pelican Lakes kind of are sister courses with them, so can have a total of almost 54 holes of golf right there between them. Great little golf course. It's new. Housing, a lot of housing going in around it, but great little golf course. Highland Meadows, actually the same developer that did Heron Lakes here, TPC Colorado.
Yeah.
John Turner, he's also done Timnath Ranch, so a lot of stuff in northern Colorado. But he did Highland Meadows. Highland Meadows is actually the same designer that did TPC here, did Highland Meadows.
Oh, wow.
Or not Eric. Eric's his son, Art Shoppeter. Just done a great job. Similar golf courses in some ways as TPC Colorado. Very good, a little bit easier, but intertwined through their neighborhood. A lot of arroyos, deep crevices on some of the holes there, but pretty golf course. A lot of fun, very centrally located there. I think that golf course has pieces that are bordered by by Windsor, by Fort Collins, and by Loveland. Mm-hmm. So it's about as centrally located as you could get.
Right. It's a regional location. You have golf, and you do have the community amenities too. The swimming pool. We mentioned the tennis bubble earlier. There are families there. Very family friendly.
Public course where you can buy yearly memberships with, but really good. Great. Always kept up in very good shape.
And is Rain Dance a public course as well?
Rain Dance is kind of a hybrid.
Okay.
They definitely have public play. They do have memberships. I think they're somewhere around 100 members right now.
Okay.
But a lot of public play.
So Rain Dance, more of a hybrid, when we're talking about, TPC, Harmony Club, Fort Collins Country Club, private clubs. Ptarmigan, is that a hybrid or is that?
It's private.
It is private.
It is private.
Okay. So yeah, these resort living options, these private clubs, and we kind of covered them when we were talking about, TPC, Harmony Club, Fort Collins Country Club, Ptarmigan. When you go over to Highland Meadows and Rain Dance, they're public. Rain Dance is a hybrid, but public. And how does that change things? If it's public, is it just more crowded? Is it hard to get a tee time? Is the course kept up the same? Are the facilities kept up the same?
Rain Dance is very new. Everything's brand new, kept up. It's in great shape. They're not overly crowded. And again, being new, everything is really good. Highland Meadows definitely gets a lot of play. They do a great job of keeping it in great shape. But again, if you have got an extra 50 people a day playing over some of these other golf courses, it does get beat up a little bit more, but by no means is it beat up. It's great, but it's more of a public type feel.
Yeah, different feel.
Great golf course. Great to go out and play. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where do you see the overall golf resort living, scene going in northern Colorado over the next 5-10 years. I don't think 15, 20 years ago, maybe not even 10 years ago, we really envisioned how quickly we would be at $5-10 million sales here at TPC and Berthoud.
It's been nuts. When I took over, my 5-year anniversary of taking over as a director of real estate here is coming up October 1st. And we had 13 homes out here. We're a little bit over 325 right now. COVID hurt us at the very beginning and exploded it at the end. Just being able to have a place that when we did have the lockdowns, golf, you were still able to golf. So we were able to still kind of have a life out here, and people trying to get out of the cities and everything. My daughter, when I moved her out here, again, we had 13 homes. We came from Linden Lake in Fort Collins, and she looked at me and, Dad, you moved me to the middle of nowhere. And she got her license about a month later. As stuff started building, she got her license, drove around. About 2 months later, it was, Dad, for being in the middle of nowhere, we sure are close to everything. Well, now we're kind of becoming the middle of everywhere. From here, we're 10 minutes into Longmont. We're 7 minutes into Loveland. We've got major grocery store chains 4 minutes outside our front door. Smaller ones in the town of Berthoud called Hayes Market. Sprouts. We've got Whole Foods in Longmont and Fort Collins that are 20, 25 minutes away. Again, major sporting events were 45 minutes away. Yeah. So it's great because you do feel like you're kind of in the country, but you've got everything you need very close.
It is fascinating with construction costs and land costs and the availability of water. I think people who are looking at making an investment decision in any of these clubs, resort communities, to understand that supply is limited. Yes. There aren't going to be more of these in the future. It's not feasible to do it. There's not space to do it. It's just not going to happen. So when you look at the clubs, these resort lifestyle communities that we have now, I don't see additional ones happening in northern Colorado over the coming. I mean, it just, at least not in the core area in these key regional locations.
Interestingly enough, you may or may not know of it, but the Kaiser Group, who has built Bandon Dunes,
yes,
Sand Valley, some of the top places around the country, has started building a complex just outside Fort Morgan.
I did hear this. That's a ways away, though.
It is. It's only about 45 minutes from right here.
From Berthoud, though. If we're in Fort Collins,
Fort Collins, you're still maybe only an hour away.
An hour away. Wow.
But it's in total, they're looking at 6 different golf courses. It is going to be top of the line. Their golf courses hold USGA events almost on a yearly basis. Will be very resorty in a way. Houses will most likely be down the line, but more of a destination type thing. And again, just kind of sells what we already know out here.
Right.
The quality of life is pretty tough to beat. Our winters are nothing near what most people from out of here think of them. Mm-hmm. Our summers are great, but we're getting into my favorite season right now. Falls can't be beat.
My favorite season too. I wish it was a longer season here. Sometimes it is. It's just a little bit unpredictable, but it's beautiful. The leaves.
We'll get 6 or 8 weeks.
Oh yeah, we'll get 6 or 8 weeks. The leaves are going to start changing color soon. For all of you listening, you've got to get out here in the fall. I mean, the summer is great too. It doesn't, with our elevation, it doesn't get too hot. In the winters, people think of Colorado winters. Yeah. They don't understand that with 300 days of sunshine a year, it's a very doable winter. I mean, you'll see people golfing when it's quite cold outside.
We've golfed. If there is no snow on the golf course, we golf 12 months out of the year here. We've done that. In some years it's 9 months if we get a big snowstorm.
Right.
I always say it's 4 very distinct seasons. I love the first 2 months of each season, and the third month of each season, I can't wait for the next season.
Yeah.
And,
Same.
it's great. It's fall is phenomenal, but then you kind of can't wait for that first snow in the holidays, and
Right.
then you kind of get rid of the cold and can't wait for it to start greening up. And spring's great, and then kind of can't wait for the heat. And right now we're in the end of it, and it's like, all right, I'm ready for it to cool down, and here we go back into fall.
Right. I think when you're enjoying northern Colorado, whether you're in Fort Collins or outside of Fort Collins, these areas we're discussing, I think people are really seeking, two things more than ever now. They're seeking kind of a higher end luxury experience.
Yes.
They're also seeking community.
Yes.
And that's what these places deliver. You mentioned COVID. I hadn't seen anything like this, but during COVID, the Fort Collins Country Club, it was a great Gatsby party.
Yes.
Every night. It was just, people were wanting to be, and at early on, of course, it wasn't like that. Early on, it was, people were scared and people were keeping their distance, but people want that community, and that was a place that offered that, and it does to this day. It's continued to thrive, and obviously it's been thriving, as you mentioned, since 1957.
Yes.
This course here, since this where we're at now, since 2016. But these places, what's evolved in our market is people wanting luxury, higher end, and wanting community, we're providing these gathering places. And I'm excited to see how these places continue to attract people, the communities that continue to build here, the friendships that are made. The fun, the laughter, I'm sure we're going to walk out here and I'll see, people meeting and having fun. And we'll walk out of this little library at TPC into this amazing restaurant area. So just excited for the future. I appreciate your time.
Of course.
DJ,
thank you.
And
we have known each other for a while,
right?
And we both work for Sotheby's. Greg's an incredible agent. Matter of fact, I've got a listing coming up in Fort Collins that I'm going to talk to him after this about potentially co-listing.
Let's connect.
So think the world of him, and he just does a great job. It's there are a lot of very good agents in northern Colorado, but then there are the select few, and I definitely put you into that. And it all is how you treat your clients.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And, right back at you. It's an honor to be able to work with you. And, we're going to do a lot of deals together in the future and help a lot of people. And I hope that people got a lot out of this episode. I think they did when they're coming here, especially from other markets, as they are at an increasing rate. They just want to hear about these things. And, of course, I love to talk to you in person. So, reach out to me anytime. If you're looking down in this area, I will get you connected to DJ.
Make sure Greg brings you to the TPC.
Yeah, we'll get you here. And, we're here to serve. Appreciate everybody listening. But DJ, again, appreciate your time. I'm looking forward to, after we're done here, we're going to go check out this workout center. And I just want to see the most recent things here, because this is always evolving. It's a special place. So
65,000 square feet. We've got some spaces.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, and cheers.
Thank you.